Hello everybody and welcome, my name is Lunami and this week we're going to be looking at Siren strands for the summoning method used on this map. Sorry I haven't been active this week as I've been doing real life stuff as well as I've been working on Mistforge. Now moving right along into A point, I highly recommend summoning a Cyclops or a Bloomer. A Bloomer will give you sustain pushing into D and to fight back enemies and retreat from. A Cyclops will build a wall right along here, so it's a good fallback location. Just remember that anybody with a jump pad or anybody with an extreme jump can jump over the Cyclops wall. Jumping straight along into B point, I would summon a Bloomer or a Cyclops on this point. Cerberus can work as well if you want to just see what enemies are doing around in this location, so I highly recommend summoning a Cerberus as well. A Cyclops will build a wall here to stop enemies entering this really easy choke area really fast, so they can only enter from this side, so that's why a Cyclops is really handy here. A Bloomer is handy here for a push towards D, so you can just constantly be aggressive on D and have a nice rotation round to see if a battle happens, and you can easily fall back. Then diving right into C point, I will summon a Cerberus or a Cyclops. A Cyclops will build a wall here to stop enemies entering from E. This is really good in just general any day practice more or less, but just remember that they can jump over the wall and in if they got a Sven or a Voden or some extreme jump like Beckett. But the enemies can also run round as well, it just takes a bit longer. A Cerberus will spot enemies coming in, but you need a really hot reaction time to deal with enemies coming in on a Cerberus. Then right along into D point, you can summon pretty much any creature. I highly recommend not summoning a Drake on this point as it won't aid you at all much. When summoning a Cyclops, it will build a wall over in this point. And this will stop any enemies from setting up and just raining hell down into your D point. The only way they can do that is by jumping up, pretty much. Which they can do, it's pretty easy to jump up from here, but it just gives them that extra, like, bit of stamina loss and stuff like that. Boomer is also good on this point if you want to keep on putting pressure onto F and G and falling back from wounds. Now moving right along into Cerberus. So Cerberus is really ideal on this point as it will give you vision from F to B as well as in ship. So keep an eye on that as you'll be able to see enemies all moving around this area and underneath, which is really handy. Now moving right along to A point. A point was on the opposite side of the map right over there where the Cyclops wall would have been, so I highly recommend using a Cyclops on this point as it will build a Cyclops wall here to stop people coming in. You can either switch that to a Bloomer, and the Bloomer will offer you healing if you're fighting into D, which is really ideal in this point. Now moving right along to B point in Siren Strand. On B point most people, and I highly recommend summoning a Cerberus on this point as you'll be able to see people entering from middle of ship as well as entering from C, and it'll keep C covered for people rotating around, and you'll just be able to generally see anybody's movements from this side, so it's really ideal to have a Cerberus on this point. Now moving right along to C point. So on C point you're going to be summoning a higher version of a Cyclops on this point, or a Bloomer maybe, but just remember Bloomers could be taken down easily, but a Cyclops on this point will build a wall here, which is here all game more or less, so this point's more or less the same from the start of the game. Now moving right along into D point. So D point you're either going to be summoning a Cerberus or a Bloomer or a Cyclops. It's pretty much the same as upstairs. The Cyclops is really good on this point as we'll build a wall here to stop anybody entering this zone. A Bloomer will give you a good offensive if you're pushing into this and pulling back from wounds, and a Cerberus will offer you vision around this whole area, and you'll pretty much have control of most of the map's vision area if you've got your B and a Cerberus on D. Thank you all for watching the Siren Strands map summoning method. Feel free to like and subscribe, and if you have any questions drop them below, and see you all on the flip side.